$40,000. $40,000. That's how much money I'm expected to lose in April because of this coronavirus. And that's, you know, compared to some of the bigger companies out there, that's a drop in the bucket. Millions, if not billions, of dollars are going to be impacted in the entertainment industry alone over the next 60 days. So, what does that look like for your DJ company? It sucks, right? You know, and here in Arkansas, we're a bunch of hillbillies. I did not expect the pandemonium to ensue that actually ensued yesterday, as a matter of fact. Colleges being canceled, festivals and events being postponed. You know, I thought that this was more of a, this is a hipster type of situation. Yeah, the people out in California will overreact. They overreact to a lot of things. But man, I did not expect the deep-rooted South to do the same, and that's just probably, that's my ignorance in thinking that. But yeah, we've got a problem, guys. We've got a big problem. If this does not pass along here in the next 30 days, SBOs like myself who are in the entertainment industry can lose a lot of money, and this could honestly bankrupt some companies. How do you put yourself in a position to be proactive and to take measures into your own hands on how to recuperate and recover from losing some income due to COVID-19? I think that's what they're calling it. Coronavirus. I don't even like Corona, but coronavirus? So the first thing that you need to do is you need to kind of head this subject off with potential clients who are already booked for the next 60 days. The governors in a lot of states have put caps on how many attendees can be in one place at one time. I know the common number that I'm seeing is around 250 people. That won't hit the Deep South as much, I feel like. Most of our weddings are in between the 150 to 225-ish mark. But you guys in the major metropolitan areas who are bringing in 400 or 500 people per event, this can really affect your income. You need to talk to your clients about postponing their event and not canceling their event. At the end of the day, they're still going to get married. It doesn't cost much of anything to get a marriage license moved to a later date. A lot of people, I'm sure, will understand, but it's going to save you more money in the long run, because if they cancel that event, the chances of getting that remaining balance that they owe is slim to none. And you're going to look like a real jackass if you try to come after them for that remaining balance. This is how you build relationships. This is how they look to you and they give you a good review, you know, if you're able to work with them on moving that date. Now, I will say that date probably needs to be in 2020 to be most beneficial to you. But canceling altogether, you need to do whatever you can to make sure that simply does not happen. And this is where getting those deposits and contracts work in your favor. If you're booking gigs without any money down or any contract in place, essentially they can call you and cancel and it really not be any sweat off their back, you know, and you're out of luck. That sucks. So if you're not charging a deposit right now, I want you to stop what you're doing. And I want you to go to an attorney or some page where you can get a contract in place that you can get a retainer deposit for situations like this. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be 60-40, 50-50. I'm no attorney, but you probably need to do what's in your best interest. Here at Crown Entertainment, we do a 20% deposit with the remaining balance due 20 days prior to their event. So 20% down, yes, that's not a lot of money, but it's more money than, let's say, $100 or $50. So if they cancel, it's really no big deal. Also, get these contracts in place, people. You know, in my contract, it does say if you cancel, especially within the last 60 days of your event, it's going to be tough for us to reschedule that. So the balance of your payment, or the payment of your balance is due. Now, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be enforcing that, especially on situations like this where it's more deemed an act of God or whatever, you know, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Enforcing that at this time is going to be super tough, and it's going to make you look like a real ass if you make them pay the balance and they have to reschedule or cancel their event. I am going to keep the deposit, however, and I advise you to do the same. And let's try to reschedule for some date in 2020 where everybody is nice and happy. The only problem is you're gonna have to make sure that you have the staff available. That's where the next bit of trickiness comes into play, especially if you're a single op. If you're a multi-op, there's a chance that you've got someone available that can go and cover the event. But if you're a solo op, get ready to get busy in the fall or early winter, spring of 2021. Now, for you guys that are dealing with, you know, major festivals, productions, things of that nature, college events, like I am, that are being canceled, postponed, or, you know, are kind of up in the air, you need to work with your client, especially if you're working with other subcontractors, on how we can all be happy at the end of the day, or at least how we can all be satisfied. I'm not going to say happy, because the only happiness comes after the gig is done, after everyone gets paid. But if that's not going to happen, how can we all kind of make this work? If you're working with a university, a city, it doesn't matter, and they're paying, you know, $20,000, $30,000 for your services, and you're in return spending or paying, you know, $10,000 or $15,000 to subcontractors, and you've got deposits set up in place, and all of this comes at a crashing halt. What do? The best thing to do is just communicate what your current situation is. I've found that communication is always key, no matter what the situation, but especially in times like this. Let's say I'm working with a city on an upcoming festival, and they have hired my business, Crown Entertainment, to come in and provide production for it. Now, if I'm hiring in subcontractors, let's say if I'm hiring in a mobile stage and I'm hiring in a guy to come in and do a video wall, and I've already sent them deposits on this production with the deposit that I've gotten from the client, and that event goes belly up and now you're out of money, then you need to tell the client, hey, this is what it takes for me to cover my cost at this point. It's not me making a dime, but it is me covering the cost of, you know, recouping my funds from paying these subcontractors to come out and work. And you don't even have to get in that far of detail. You can just say, look, I've lost this. I need this to not make a dime, but to at least not lose any money. 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to work with you if they can. But again, postpone is the word we're looking for, not cancellation. Now, if they decide to postpone it and you are still on the hook for their production, A, again, you need to make sure that you're available. B, you need to get something in writing that updates your new contract. It sounds totally simple, but it's something that you need to do. If they're going to postpone their event from April to July, which I think would be a terrible idea because it's going to be hot as hell out here. But if they're going to postpone their event from April to July, we need an updated contract that says you are still going to be paid for services rendered when the event gets here. Now, you can't try to add extra or change things now. Yes, some things may go up in price, especially if you're working with another vendor. But look, you know, this is all things that that's out there happening to everyone in the event space. So try to be as lenient and workable as possible when dealing with these subcontractors that you're bringing in to your events. So don't panic, but postpone, not cancel. If this situation is going to bankrupt you and your company, then you need to start treating your business like a business and not like a hobby. Businesses have cash on the hand to get through these things. Businesses don't go out and purchase new equipment just for the sake of it. Businesses don't invest in their company by purchasing new equipment only so they can get out of paying taxes. It may work for you. It may work for you, but you need to have a backup plan. None of this stuff means anything if you can't sell it. So why buy it if you don't need it? Why not have some cash on the hand to get through tough situations? All of this is out of our control, and your financial status or your financial means is in your control. You hold the keys to the castle. You hold the card to the account. Stop spending unnecessary money and put some away so when shit hits the fan, you're okay. And lastly but not leastly, why don't you take this time to learn something? Learn something new. I saw, Christian Jackson put out a tweet a couple days ago. Take the time to learn something. If you're off, why don't you dive into your lights a little bit more? Why don't you dive into sound a little bit more? Why don't you take this time to revamp your contracts or revamp your automation system, revamp your website to be ready for the fall when it gets extremely busy? So with all that being said, guys, I hope that this doesn't impact you too awful much. It will in some way, shape, or form impact everyone in this industry. I'm almost certain of it. But it's not how it impacts you, but really how you can overcome this in the later months in the year. I suspect that all of us are going to be extremely busy this fall when it kind of blows over. A lot of these dates are going to get postponed until the fall. Hopefully you guys are able to cover and just work with your clients on what you can do to make sure that even though the event is postponed, maybe your event got canceled, what can you do to gear up for next year to make it even better? Since we couldn't do it this year, let's go all out for next year type of situation. Like I said, I think it's going to impact everyone in our industry in particular in some way, shape, or form. But please, 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 make sure that you are prepared for a situation like this to happen again. Have you guys seen the stock market? We could all be in another situation here in a few months if this stock market doesn't bounce back. So take the time, learn from this. If you don't have contracts or deposits or whatever in place, take this time to learn from it and get these things in order so it doesn't happen to you again. Get some cash in your bank account so you know that you're going to be okay for a few months if poop hits the fan. But in the meantime, take this time to learn something, grow from it, get involved with something that you've been not putting as much effort into, and it's going to help you out, I believe, probably 10, 20-fold. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. It's good to be back on YouTube on a regular basis. So a lot more videos coming out later on. I mean, now that I got some canceled gigs, I got plenty of time. Let me know down in the comments how you're dealing with this, if it's affected you, how much money you've lost, what kind of, what are you doing to take the next step. Also, if you want to see something new in one of these videos, be sure to leave that down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you later. Also, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Common sense.